So I hope you can see me now, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. Today what we are doing is read aloud. So why do we do read alouds? Tell me.
To to get proper pronunciation, to uh, to increase fluency, to get fluency in English. Uh,
Sorry, can you speak louder?
Read aloud first. Uh, uh, Proper pronunciation, uh, then grammatical mistakes. If you are doing any mistakes and that after reading you are hearing also, so you know after some time you know that which how uh, how grammar works. So sentence framing you will do sentence framing after being read aloud.
Yeah, that's very good. So where will it help you? Tell me.
Everywhere it will help you.
Sorry?
It will help you everywhere. If
It will help you.
everywhere.
Yes, right. Right. It will help you everywhere. So let's just start with our read aloud. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to display it on the screen so you can read it out loud and clear for me. Where are we? Okay, here it is. It's on your screen now. I want you to start reading this one from the top.
Celebrate flaws and differences. An elderly Chinese woman had two large pots, each hung on the ends of the pole which she carried across her neck. On one of the pots had a crack in it while the other pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water. At the end of the long walks from the
To the house.
stream of the house, the cracked pot arrived only half full. For a full 2 years, this went on daily, with the woman bringing
Home.
home only 1.5 pots of water. Of course, the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments, but the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection and miserable that it could only do half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years of what it perceived to be bitter failure, it spoke to the woman one day by the stream. I am ashamed of myself because this crack in my side causes water to leak out of all the way back to your house. The old woman smiled. Did you notice that there are flowers on your side of the path, but not on the other spot side? That's because I have always known about your flaw. So I planted flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day while we walk back, you water them. For 2 years, I have been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate the table. Without you being just the way you are, there would not be this beauty to grace the house. Each of us has our own unique flaw, but it's the cracks and flaws we each have that make our life together so very interesting and rewarding. You have just got to take each person for what they are and look for the good in them. So, all of my crackpots friend, have a great day and remember to Smell the flowers on your side of the path. Don't forget the cracked pot that sent it to you.
Very good. I understood what you were reading, partly because you were reading it slowly, trying not to make any mistakes. But in the last line of the paragraph, you could have read that as you. You've just got to take, try that right now. You've just got to take the contraction.
You, you,
Yeah, you've just got to take, speak the whole phrase.
you just got to take each person for what they are and look for the good in them.
Yeah, so if you can speak all kinds of contractions, that will be better. Of course, you were right. When you are not able to clearly focus on it, you can speak it as you have, but it's fairly easy to speak you. You've just got to take each person. See, you've just got to take each person for what they are. So tell me what you learned from this story. Did you understand your own story?
Yes, yes, I understand the story that
What
every,
what did you
every,
understand?
everyone has their own flaws, but we have to uh, we have to uh, uh, we have to do something from that flaws that our life or every other who are with us, who are near to us, we can uh, we can uh, give them or we can live happily with our flaws if we take it positively.
Exactly. So fantastic. You also understood the story. Let's go on and read one more.
Attitude matters. It's little things that make a big difference. There was a man taking a morning walk at or the beach. He saw that along with the morning tide came hundreds of starfish, and when the tide receded, they were left behind. And with the
They
morning sun,
were left behind.
they were left behind, and with the morning sun rays, they would die. The tide was fresh and the starfish were alive. The man took a few steps, picked one and threw it into water. He did it that repeatedly. Right behind him there was another person who couldn't understand what this man was doing. He caught up with him and asked, "What are you doing? There are hundreds of starfish. How many can you help? What difference does it matter? Does it make?" This man did not reply, took two more steps, picked up another one, threw it into the water, and said, "It makes a difference to this one. What difference are we making, big or small? It does not matter. If everyone made a small difference, we would end up with a big difference, wouldn't we?"
Such a powerful statement. So tell me what you learned from this one. What's the moral of this story?
Moral of the story is uh, small things. If you're small differences, if everyone made small differences, then then there is a big difference. So you have to make sure that your contribution is there. So if the amount doesn't matter, small or big, but if your action helps someone, then you must do it.
Action, which means your attitude,
Right.
right? You can see both the people have different attitudes. One is still trying to save at least one, and the other one is ignoring it. So, ignorance is the number one problem in this world, right? Okay, read me one more there.
The obstacles in our path. In
Ancient.
ancient, in ancient times, a king had a Boulder.
Boulder.
Boulder. A king had a boulder placed on a roadway. Then he hid himself and watched to see if anyone would remove the huge rock. Some of king's wealthiest merchants and co-
Some of the kings,
some of the king's wealthiest merchants and court, court,
courtiers.
courtiers came by and simply walked around it. Many loudly blamed the king for not keeping the road clear, but none
Roads.
did roads clear. But none did anything about getting the big stone out of the way. Then a peasant came along carrying a load of vegetables. One approaching the
On approaching.
On approaching the boulder, the peasant lied
Peasant.
down. Peas, peasant. So, what is the meaning of that peasant?
The peasant is the poor man, like a worker. Per- Peasant means a hard laborer worker. So he's a vegetable man. You can see that.
Okay.
Like we
Peasant.
have vegetable vendors roaming around our streets. So we can
Okay.
call him peasant because any poor man is a peasant. Okay, continue.
The peasant lied down,
Laid down.
laid. The peasant laid down his burden and tried to move the stone to the side of the road. After much pushing and straining,
Straining.
straining, straining, he finally succeeded. As the peasant picked up his load of vegetables, he noticed a purse lying in the road where the boulder had been. The purse contained many of gold coin and
Gold coins.
contained the purse contained many of gold coins and a note from a king indicating that the gold was for the person who removed the boulder from the roadway. The peasant learned what many others never understand. Every obstacle presents an opportunity to improve one's condition.
It's a totally different one that from the rest. So what is the moral here?
Knowledge that every obstacle or problems in your life that give you opportunity to improve yourself.
Okay, speak into the microphone. I can barely hear you.
Okay. Every obstacle or problem that you face that that give you lesson that improve your life or improve your condition.
Yeah,
That
every obstacle presents something. It's a very good one. It's indeed a very special one. Oops, did I just jump all of them? Okay, so read us one more since these are very small ones. You can read this.
everyone is important. During Mark's first month of college, the professor gave his students a pop quiz. He was a conscien-
Conscientious student.
conscienti-
Conscientious. Yeah, you can
conscientious,
say. Yeah, say like that.
conscientious,
Student.
conscientious student and had breezed through the questions until he read the last one. Sorry, until he read the last one. What is the first name of the woman who cleans the school? Surely this was some kind of joke. He had seen the cleaning woman several times. She was tall, dark haired, and in her 50s. But how would he know her name? He handed in his paper, leaving the last question blank. Just before class ended, one student asked if the last question would count toward the quiz grade. Absolutely, said the professor. In your, in your careers, you will meet many people. All are significant. They each deserve your attention and care. Even if all you do is smile and say hello, Mark never forgot that lesson. He also learned her name was Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Dorothy.
Okay.
Everyone
So
in your life is everyone just like the everyone in your life is everyone just like the people you give importance to.
what does it mean? Very short description. What does this mean?
Mean is
Moral.
everyone is important. You know.
Yeah, it means everyone is super important. We cannot ignore anyone. You can see if he knew the name of that lady, he would have got full marks. He was such a conscientious student. He would know, he knew everything. But where did he go for the last mark? He couldn't get it, right? He left it blank. He couldn't even guess it. So it shows that we cannot ignore anyone. Every person has great importance in life. That's what I'm saying. Okay, one more dear one, since it's another small one, then we'll definitely go for
Everyone has a story in life. A 24-year-old boy seeing out from the train's window shouted, Dad, look, the trees are going behind. Dad smiled, and a young couple sitting nearby looked at the 24-year-old's childish behavior with pity. Suddenly he again exclaimed,
he again
Suddenly he again exclaimed, Dad,
exclaimed.
exclaimed, exclaimed,
It should be exclaimed. Just say exclaimed.
ex,
Exclaimed.
exclaimed,
Yeah.
Dad, look, the clouds are running with us. The couple couldn't resist and said to the old man, Why don't you take your son to good doctor?
To a good.
A good doctor. The old man smiled and said, I did, and we are just coming from the hospital. My son was blind from birth. He just got his eyes today. Every single person on the planet has a story. Don't judge people before you truly know them. The truth might surprise you.
Fabulous one, isn't it? What's
Yes.
the moral of the story according to you?
Moral of the story is every person has his story and you don't need to judge them by looking or just by looking at them or just by one meeting. If you want to judge them, then you must know full truth about his personality, about his story. So
Yeah. It means don't judge anyone or any person by their looks, by their simplicity or whatever. The truth that is behind them, the truth that is behind them is totally, it can be surprising. It can be a total different element of what you have been hearing, seeing about them.
right,
This is also a very important one, right?
right.
Very nice small stories. So it would be so nice if you could read them 100% fluently. Now you're slowing down to read them. But if you keep reading so many every day, I'm sure you can read it faster and, smoothly all the time. Okay, so that's very good in reading. And I really understood your words. I also understood what yours. I mean, I didn't have to read the story there. What you said was understood to me. So I'm going to really clap for you, and I'm going to make you clap also and sing along. Yes, I can read everything in English.
Yes, I can read everything in English.
Yeah, that was very good because I understood every line of your story as you were reading. So that slow speed was super important because you were making sure you are not speaking incorrect words. And so the
Right.
even if the reader is not getting the story, the person listening is definitely catching the story.
Yes. Right.
That's a very important thing. Right. Oh, we move on to grammar now. Are we ready for it? Yes.
Yes.
So first, one thing for clear, why? Why grammar?
Grammar
Very
is super. Grammar is super important, and
yeah,
you have to make if you want to speak or if you want to communicate properly, then you need to use grammar properly. And
yeah. Grammar is everything in English, isn't it?
that's soul of language.
Yeah, it's the soul. You gave the perfect words, man. I have never heard that from any of my students, and I'm surprised. I've had thousands of students. The first one to say it's the soul of English. It's a superb way to say that. It really is the soul of English. And as you have been learning, one little mistake and the whole English is gone left and right. And once you know this thing, then English is nothing. It's just a piece of cake for you. You can just utilize. So let's jump into our English and see where we are in our grammar part today. And I'm not sure. Oops, where were we? We were probably in this one for you, but I'm not so sure about that. It looks like we have
Unable
missed.
to see that.
Oh yeah, you are unable to see, of course, the usual story
Yes.
that always happens with us. You know, they delayed it for 5 minutes for us. Now everything gets delayed.
Right.
it's it becomes a kind of like a habitual thing. So okay, we're not in the right place, but I can always make a new one over here, and it's not a problem. So first thing first, I need a table up there. There we go. We're gonna look at subject, verb form, and object. Okay. Uh, so as you can see from here, subject and all that is very much required. So are you there? Okay, you're there. Sorry, where am I? I'm in the subject. So let's say we want to use the verb should, or we can have its positive form and we can have its negative form. So we can write here the positive form, and over here we can write, oh, sorry, I put it in the wrong box. So a little bit later we can write its negative form. Okay, we will write the word negative properly and positive. This is the positive form. And what is the negative form of should?
Student.
Shouldn't. Yeah, that's right. That's a contraction, shouldn't. So in this one is very easy. So you will be able to remember that right away. All of them fall in the same category. You can see me typing them all. They all come in the same category, whether it's positive or negative. We should reach there by 12 o'clock, 12 noon, right? Or we shouldn't reach there by 12 noon. It's the same sentence, right? So I think this one is very easy for you to remember. We're going to just go ahead with it. But before I go ahead, I can also show you the question type for it. For example, you can have the WH questions over here, question type, you can say. And then we have the verb form here. Then we have the subject here. And finally, we have the object. So I'm just going to include the object for simplicity right here. We don't have to worry about that. Once we get the subject object right here. It's a good idea to hold it so you can see what should, right? We, and sorry, oh, I jumped it. Where is it? Oops, back again. There we are. We, I should put a space here. We eat for dinner, something like that, right?
Yes.
What should we eat for dinner? And there's a question mark. You can put any kind of question, and you will see that when should they arrive, your object, and so forth,
So
right?
generally, which sentence, which tense come with should?
Sorry, say that again.
Which tense means with should we generally use?
Should is itself, it's just a verb. It's saying we can do this at this time. These are modals. Okay, they are not tenses. Should, could, and all these. These are modals. Actually, they are a form of modals, but right now we are considering them as in the form of verb. So if you're technically saying what kind of tense it is, then it is something that is futuristic, that is
Okay.
yet to be considered. But it can also be used in the past form, because we can easily say, what should we have done yesterday? So now it's all in the past form. So it
Right.
depends. It depends on these things. Where's my mouse? My mouse has disappeared for unknown reasons. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it depends upon the object. So for example, okay, since you asked, I'm going to make another line. I can use how instead of what, since we have already used how. How should I know? You can say also use we for comfort. We, how should we, now watch, the object will change everything. How should we have dressed yesterday in the party? See, object has completely changed it to a past tense. So there's no real tense of it. You can use it in the future. It sounds futuristic, that what should we do? Like, what are we going to do tomorrow? What should we eat for dinner? But if we put the object in the past tense, like I just did right now, what should we have dressed? We can even put I am, just making it simple by putting the same we. What should I have dressed yesterday in the party? You can see they will all fit. All these subjects will fit in here. All of these mentioned here. Do not worry about those. And these are all your question types: when, where, how, everything. And but you have to make the sentence correctly, of course. Now this one's gone in the past tense. Okay, so it can be for the past, it can be for an upcoming time, or it can even be now. For example, what should we eat now? And then it becomes just now. Or
Right.
you can even use it for a continuous tense. How? What should we be doing at this moment? So now it's continuous. What should we, you can also make it that in a different way. I'll show you just now. Also, this is the one form of the questions. Of course, you can have straight away should in the beginning to make a question. That one we will do right here. So I'll type the should part first. Should we be doing this at all. See,
Right.
now the questions do not have this type of question. It has straight away your modal verb should. Should we be doing this at all? As you can see, or should we be learning French? Should
Right.
we be dancing at this moment? Should we be celebrating anything? We, of course, can be put with any of these subjects. Clear? A little bit clear, huh? Well, don't worry, you can take a screenshot of this if you want, but I'm going to take you to the book and then it will be clear over there. Ready to go there?
Yes.
Okay, but first I need you to make one line from it with should or should not, shouldn't. I'm going to make this disappear so you can't see. Make a line.
Should we uh, should we learn cooking?
If that is a question, when you make a statement,
We, sh- we should learn speaking.
yeah, we should learn.
We should learn public speaking.
We should learn public speaking thoroughly. You can say thoroughly. Thoroughly means very well. That's right. So let's jump right into our grammar book. Okay, and now read this for me.
Shouldn't.
That's what we're learning. What is this?
You shouldn't talk over the phone so much.
Yeah, you can see this person's talking too much on the phone. So this one's pointing out. You shouldn't talk over the phone so much. You can see shouldn't has been used here. Okay, there's no worry about the tense. The tense depends on the object. Okay, you read this line.
Uh, to share your personal opinion or when you give an advice.
Yeah, so where can we use should and shouldn't?
Personal opinion or when you're giving advice.
Yeah, any kind of opinion. Hey, I just said, should we eat? Should we do this? Like you just made a sentence. They're all opinions, personal opinions, or a personal advice that we should be doing these things. Okay, so positive statements. Read this.
Positive statements. It is the right thing to do or a good thing to do.
When we're talking about positive statements with only should in it, then it is portraying that it is the right thing to do or a good thing that we should be doing that. Okay, that's why we're saying should. I should learn English. I should do grammar. I should read aloud. I should do role plays. You can see it is the right thing to do, good thing to do. That's why we're using it. What about this one? Read it.
Negative statements. It is not a good thing to do or not a good idea.
It's the exact opposite of this one. Okay. And here's the positive, negative. Already mentioned to you some lines here. And we're going to learn here the word order. Okay. What are we going to learn?
Word order.
Yeah, the word order in statements, how to make the statement with a proper word where which side goes which word. Read the first line.
I should wear a tie during a presentation.
Okay, you can see what are all of these?
Subjects.
Yeah, and what are all these?
Helping verb.
Right, and then this
Verb first form.
verb first form, and finally your object. Okay,
Yes.
now here is where we can change the tenses if we are using a past tense. Okay, read the second line.
We should go for the family get together.
Hmm. Now, if you wanted to make this in the past tense, the same line, what would you speak?
We should went for the family. We should.
Perfect. We should have gone for the family get together. Okay. Next
Yes.
one.
She shouldn't conduct a competition at the year end.
Okay. Next.
They should learn to speak Spanish and Chinese.
Right. Next one.
He shouldn't drive faster than 60 kilometers per hour.
Right. Now read me this one.
Comparing must and should, we come to know that must is stronger than should.
Okay,
You,
remember last grammar we
right.
just did must and mustn't, right?
Yes,
So they are different, trying to differentiate between must and should to let you know that must is stronger. But actually, I would advise you even an easier way if you can't understand this one, that must has to be done, whereas should is only a suggestion. As we just said, it's only an opinion. What the person does actually depends upon the time or other things or his own choice, right?
right,
So should is alterable, should is not requirement, should is not a necessary, but must is forced. You must. So if I say you must come at 9 p.m., means you have to come at 9 p.m., not at 8:55, not at 9:05, right?
right.
Whereas when we say you should come at 9 p.m. It's only a suggestion that you can come at 9 p.m., but you can alter it because you could be late for 15 minutes. If it's a party, you can come 9:15, 9:30, that kind of situation. Do you see the difference between the two? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it should be clear in your mind. Now, let's find out from these statements. Read the first one.
You must travel by the school bus. It is the policy.
Right. You can see it is the policy. Like I said, you must reach your class by 9 p.m. It is the policy. That's why we put must. Okay, read the next one.
You should brush your teeth twice daily.
Now, this one is only a suggestion, only an opinion, only a good thing that we're trying to make you do. But you could end up doing it 3 times in a day or just once a day. There is no force. It's not a must. It's not a regulation. It is not a policy. Is that clear?
Yes,
Okay. Same thing for shouldn't, and same thing, same difference is there with mustn't. Okay. So shouldn't would mean that you shouldn't do this thing, but you can actually. Mustn't would mean that should not absolutely do that. It's completely prohibited. So it's like a prohibitive area. You have seen sometimes land where it says prohibited area, please do not enter. That's mustn't. You mustn't go in there. Means you cannot go in there. Period. There is no question. Clear?
clear.
Okay, so there are some word orders in the question form also. Let's do that. Read the first one.
What should I wear for the company inauguration?
Inauguration.
Inauguration.
Yeah, it's a clear question. Okay, and this one is futuristic. Still has to come. That's why the person is asking for an opinion. Right? Next.
Why should Suraj pay above the MRP?
Yeah, why should he pay? He can pay less, he can pay at the MRP. So there's choices. Next.
Where should they go for an interesting field trip?
Right. Again, opinion that is required. Next.
Should we be concerned about this?
Hey, another question. Now read
Should,
this.
should is often used with think.
Yeah, let's try it.
I think you should spell check your emails before sending.
Yeah, this. In my thinking, you should do this thing. But what you do is your choice. This is only a choice. Okay. Next.
Do you think I should wear sunglasses? Or what do you think I should wear?
Okay. Let's see. You think it's your mind saying that I should wear something. Or do you think I should wear something else, like whatever else you decide for? Okay. And here they are also suggesting you one more thing. What are they saying?
Should, ought to.
Also, should is equal to ought to. When we say ought to, well, it's not exactly the same as outlined over here, but this is just a suggestive way of saying that it is similar to ought to. Ought to means you ought to be doing that, which can be similar, like you should be doing that. So in some cases, they are exactly identical. That's why they're suggesting that these are both very similar. Look at this sentence here. Read it.
I think you should swim every day, or I think you ought to swim every day.
What's the meaning of both of them?
Should. Hello?
Yeah, what's the meaning of both of these statements?
The meaning is that if you should swim every day, that you ought you have to do swimming every day. Just like
No,
that.
no, it
I
doesn't say
think you
you
should.
have to. It says you ought to.
Means you su- suggestion type.
What's the difference between these two?
I
Any
think you
difference?
should, I think you should.
Hmm?
I that
Read it in your mind and tell me what's the difference between the two, if there is any difference.
I don't think there is difference.
There really is no difference. That's what they are
Uh,
saying.
right,
Sometimes should is the same as ought to.
right,
I think you should swim every day is the same as this. So here you can say, I think you should swim every day is the same thing.
right,
And here you can say, I think you ought to swim every day is just the same thing. There is no difference. Only the words are different. Okay? That's what they're
right.
telling. Right, you can have exercises for this one that you can do. So I'm gonna make you do one or two right now, or maybe we'll come back and do it so that you can maybe forget it. Okay. First of all, I'm going to want you to say something for me. So, how was the grammar today?
Grammar is great. Today's grammar is great. I learned should. Uh, maybe, firstly, we go, we have gone through read aloud, and that was nice session. After that, uh, we 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 gone through must, should. Last last session we went through must, and now we know that how to use should and shouldn't, and that is nice session. And I know that how to use should and with. Uh, I have confusions. I have from from
You have confusion or you had confusion?
I had confusion. I had confusion with should and these model verbs means uh, in which form, in which tenses we have to use those. But now that confusion is clear, and because every time if you think tenses and verbs, then you know that in continuous or in past or in future tense, the verb form is different. But and if you are seeing should as a verb, then also you, in your mind, if you are learner, then you in your mind that should is also verb. So how many form of should also are there? So from this session, I'm pretty clear that how to use should. That's nice session.
We're gonna move on now to the final part today. And this one is all about, it's kind of like a surprise test for you. We are going to revise. It's a short test. Okay.
Yeah.
So why do a short test? Tell me why do a short test?
Short test is because that's how much we learn, and we know to to what can I say?
How you
To
can
get to
use the grammar?
yes, yes. How we use to grammar or how much we learn and learn to I don't find this.
To apply it in your real everyday
Right,
English.
right, 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 right.
Right. So this is how we're going to do this. It's a short revision test. We have done one before from 1 to 8. Now we'll go from unit 9 to today's unit 16. I'm just going to give you one or two questions from each of those units. You will be able to answer them unit
Right.
by unit. Ready?
Yes.
All right. So let me also put that up on the screen first of all, so you can see it very clearly. Okay, we'll come back to the 16th one later. And right now, I want you to go back a little bit through all those units, and I'm going to give you a surprise question to do. You remember was, were, which is past simple on your screen? See,
Yes.
that's the question. Now, whichever one I pointed, you do that. Do this number 5.
Karan was
You can use the, you can see the sample from number 1.
yes, yes. Karan was on time. He wasn't late for the train.
Right. Okay. Here we're going to use am is are. Okay. Always look at this. Read this line
Yes.
first for me.
Last year I was a senior executive. Now I am a manager.
This one.
I fourth one. Yes, okay. When
Number 4. Number 4.
yes, yes, yes. When was when was the last episode of Mahabharata TV serial broadcasted?
Perfect. Slow and steady wins the race. Read this first line.
Why weren't why weren't you in the meeting? I'm sorry, I was on a call with client.
So you can see what we are doing. These ones.
Yes.
Okay. And do this one. Number 6.
They weren't able to open the file. They had forgotten the password.
Right. Now
Using was
here
there.
you have to use was or were to write positive statements or questions. Here's one. I want you to write this. What will you write here?
Where in Manali? Where we
Where or were?
were we in were we in Manali last month?
Make sure you pronounce this as were.
Were
Okay,
right. Yes,
not
yes.
where. Where is WHERE? Where is where? We have where here. We don't have it, so I can't show it to you right now. So where is pronounced for that word. This one is were always. Even here, if also in the question, were we in Manali last month? And you should put a question mark. Don't forget to tell me to put the question mark.
Right.
Okay, here we're doing these two. Read the first line quickly.
Was your school near your home? Yes, it was. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, both can be right. Whatever is right according to you, you answer. Do this one.
Were you on time today for these classes?
This class.
This class. Oh, yes, I was.
Yeah. Yes, I was. Yes, that's very important. Okay, next we're doing this one.
Yes.
Okay, ready? You have to use these words to complete the sentences below. Okay, the example is already given to you. Sorry, I can't make that disappear. Read the example line. Number one.
Ravi opened Ravi opened the door of his home.
You can also see it from the picture right here. Ravi opened the door of his home. So let's do number two.
Jenny did all her work so that she could. Jenny did all her work.
No. Use one of these words only, which are on the
Okay,
top.
okay, okay. Jenny completed all her work so that she could read her favorite book.
That's right. Okay, one more. This one.
Pratik waited.
Only these words. Use. Come
Wait, wait,
on.
wait. Pratik waited at the bus stop for 35 minutes before the bus arrived.
Right. Shouldn't be so difficult for you that you've done this. Okay. Here, read the first line.
Kapil worked at the shop for 8 a.m. till 5 p.m.
From 8 p.m. Number four. Oh, you have to use
Force.
these words, eh?
Right,
Wait,
right,
let
right.
me show you the words, all of them. No, it's not clear. One word is slightly off and missing. There it is. Okay, do this one, number four.
He he watched he watched the evening show and rode his bike while returning. Uh, it's
Yeah, that is right. Nothing wrong with it. Okay, read this one.
Did you study history yesterday? No, I did not study history. I studied English.
So what we're doing is writing questions and negative sentences, both. So one should be a question, the other should be a negative sentence. Do number three.
Why did our team argue with the coach? Why did our team argue with the coach? They didn't, but the other team argued.
Okay, that's much better. Now we're doing, I was doing, past continuous. Minute 11, we just went by a little time ago from you. Our time is running out, so we're gonna do it fast. You can do this one. These are the words. Do number two.
Jenny was reading a book. Jenny past right now. Jenny was reading. She wasn't on her mobile phone.
You don't have to say, yeah, okay, Jenny was reading a book. She wasn't on her mobile phone. That's right. Okay, that's provided we are doing and was and wasn't. So you can check, yes, was. Okay, so we're on number 12. I have
Yes.
one. Okay, do this one. Part B, read the first line.
I have lost 20 kilos in 2 years due to my diet and exercise.
You can use, he has used the lose word as lost. So that's what you have to do. Okay, do number two.
Our company, our company, our company has excelled in all fronts
Where is,
like
where is Excel over here? Okay, it's here. Okay, but there are two blanks here. So if you put excelled, the other one is left. So it is not right.
has excelled.
As is there, as is not there, have is there. Yeah, you could put has excelled. Okay, I will accept that. How about our company drew sales in all fronts like branding, sales, and quality, which is almost the same thing. So both of ours are right. You can say has excelled. I'll let that one go. As long as I know you are learning something. I used to past simple tense. I were using used to. Read this one, please.
Uh, Ride a bicycle. I used to ride a bicycle, or I ride a bicycle.
Yeah. Uh, you have to write with both used to as well as the present simple tense. This is the present simple tense, and this is the line with used to. Means I used to ride a bicycle. No, now I no longer ride a bicycle. That's
Right,
what
right,
the
right.
first one means. The second one means
Uh,
I ride a bicycle. It's a simple tense. So do number two for me.
I I drink milk.
No,
I used to drink milk.
yeah. I used to drink what?
Milk.
Okay, next. Present
I
simple tense.
I drink milk.
I drink milk or I drink milk every day.
Yes,
All right, do
yes,
one more.
yes.
This one.
I used to watch animated movies. I watch animated movies.
Yeah, present simple tense is just straightforward. Can and could. This is the one you kind of sort of missed because you had missed one class, remember?
Yes.
So I've sent it to you. We're going to actually, I was going to discuss this for a few minutes, but it's okay. Now you can take a look at it. Just try to do it. Remember,
Yes.
in can and could, it's
Yes. Yes.
like everything else. They are all the same. I, we, he, she, they, can, cannot. Okay?
Yes.
Or could, even could. The similar thing happens with the questions. So you're going to try an exercise with it. You can write the sentences using can, can't, could, or couldn't, etc. Followed or together with these any of these verbs. Here's an example. Read it with
I'm
here
sorry. I'm sorry. I can't hear you. Please speak loudly.
and see how the person has used it. So use do number two.
You.
This is a question. Look at the end
Yes.
first.
Yes. Can you bring the chocolate from the
No,
refrigerator? Can you?
no, you cannot say it that way. See what happens when you miss the exercise. It should be, could you bring the chocolates from the refrigerator, please? You're using bring here, and here it will become, could you? Could you bring the chocolates from the refrigerator? Okay,
Yes. Yes.
not clear? We do another one. Do this one.
You couldn't leave the meeting. You can't leave the meeting.
Sorry,
Or
speak louder.
you can't leave the meeting
Yeah, earlier.
early.
You have to stay until
You
the end.
have to end then.
Okay,
Yes.
so you can get it. So you do this exercise. I'll send it to you today as an extra one. I don't think you have done this one because you missed it. So you can cover it up. This is your must and mustn't. And this one, oh, sorry. You just did it yesterday. So I'm going to skip it all together. We come to today's should and shouldn't one. You're going to tell me one before we go for the day. Read this line.
You should be present for all the meetings.
Unfortunately, the be has already been used. So do number 2.
We shouldn't reveal our password to anyone.
We shouldn't reveal our, yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So I'll send you this exercise today. You have to do it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So how was your revision test? Does it tickle your mind? Does it tell you that I'm paying attention to grammar? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So that's it. I'm going to give you one more claps on that one. So let's say together, yes, I can do the short tests, short revision tests successfully.
I can do
Short
the
revision test
short revision test successfully.
successfully. So I can speak and use grammar in my everyday English.
I can speak and use grammar in my everyday speaking.
Yeah,
English.
there's a clap from me also to you,
Yes.
because that was a fantastic and good job. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow. Please do not miss at
Yes.
all
Yes.
costs. Okay,
Yes.
and these ones are coming up shortly. Okay, have a good day then.
Yes. Same to you.
Okay, welcome. Bye.